today I found out that the best way to dry out the Airvolution and get it, because I had to hose it all out because of the mud I got into the other day, is to use a truck mop to reach back in here and get all that cleaned out, as you can see. Oh, there we go. And there we go. If you notice at the end of the rigging on forward and aft on the Airvolution, they tied the knot and everything is cool, but I'm a freak for aesthetics. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a piece of shrink tubing that has the adhesive built into it, and I'm actually going to seal this up because I don't plan on untying it. Now I want to put a heat shield or something like that underneath, just so it doesn't heat up the boat at all. Just something like that. Then take my little torch, which is this one right here. And that's the first one. Then I'm going to do the same thing at the other end. As you can see, I got this one a little bit longer. I'm going to take some of that excess off. I'm just going to kind of even these two posts up here. Quick. There. Now, again, put a little heat shield underneath so I don't have any problems with the craft itself. Then adhesive type has internal adhesive in the shrink tubing. I'm going to fit that over both lines like this. Push it down to the knot and go ahead and shrink it up. Well, hey guys, what we're going to do today is just a real quick modification on fixing the, what I call seat spaghetti of all the web strapping that's left over when you get your seat positioned where you want to on the Airvolution. As you can see here, I want to get that all cleaned up right there. Now, the tools you're going to need today is really not that much. All you're going to need for this project is this split cable plastic stuff you can get at the auto parts stores for running, like wiring through your trailer or something like that, some zip ties and a pair of nippers, and that's all you're going to need. Now I've already pre-cut the lengths of. Alright guys, once you have your seat adjusted in your Airvolution, there's going to be a lot of webbing left over, and I really don't recommend that you cut the webbing because other people may be using your craft, or you may lend it out to a friend or something like that, and their height difference is going to change the seat adjustment. So what I recommend you do is you fold up the excess, something like this, and add a wire tie so you can add this, getting that all enclosed. So we're going to show you how we did this. First, I'm going to start with the top ones. Now, this one, there's not a lot of excess because I've got the seat almost all the way back, so it's not that big a deal. But what I did different is I took one long section of this and I'm actually going to feed both of these in there. Now what I do is I crimp the webbing like this to make it easier to feed. Then I take a small wire tie and attach that right here just to keep that crimp section in its place. And then I do another one like right, well, let me fold this one over. Like this, crimp it like that. Add another wire tie to it. Okay, get that crimped like this, bend that webbing over, then snip off the ends on this one. Now do the same to the other side, and I'm going to show you why I'm doing it different. So I'm going to take this again, and I'm going to pinch these two together. Just makes it easier to feed into the tube. And you'll see what I mean here in just a minute. Okay, again, snip off the excess. Now it's time to feed, and I want one long piece to go all the way across. So you see how this opens up? You've seen this stuff before. I just feed this all the way down, right to the edge of the buckle, and feed this inside. And again, all the way to the buckle. So we want to make sure that we pull this a little bit tight. Like that. Now add a wire tie at this end. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing on the other end. Feed this all the way down. Feed in as much as you can, getting to that buckle. Again, adding a wire tie. Okay, now just add 2 small wire ties here to keep the center all intact. And if you had to do this, you could cut this apart for someone that wants to readjust the seat. So it's not that big a deal. Here, and one right here. Okay, now take your cutters and just cut off the excess. Okay, top one's done. Now we're going to do the bottom one. The bottom one, there's a lot of excess material here, you can see. There's a lot. So what I did was I kind of folded it up like this. Okay, take again a wire tie to bundle this up. And that just holds it in place. Cut off that little piece of excess. Take a short piece here. You could do 2 long pieces if you want, but I found that it didn't look as good. I'll show you why in just a minute. Okay, and you notice how I turn this thing around so it looks like that? You're going to see why in just a sec. Now I grab a bigger wire tie and cinch down this end, and that's because the circumference is getting too big. And you ain't got to get it crazy tight, but just enough to keep the webbing from coming out. And I put the nubs towards the back and down a little bit so they don't show. Cut off that excess and put one more in the middle. Okay, cut your excess off again. Alright, now we do the last one. Repeat the exact same process, so I'm going to speed the camera up for this one. Okay, now we've got these where we want it. Now you could leave this here if you want to. I put them together with 2 wire ties, just aesthetically pleasing this way. I take it like this and like this, and run this down. All right, and line these 2 up. Then 2 more long wire ties to group them together. Now you don't have to do this, you could let it hang, but this is just how I want to get it done. Okay, again, same thing. Don't really cinch it tight on this one. And we are almost done. There, this project is finished, and I've cleaned it all up, and you can see how nice and sturdy that is right here. And also, you've just gained a coffee cup holder. So when you're getting in your boat, you can put your cup of coffee back here, reach behind, and grab your cup of coffee out. But as you can see how well it cleaned up all of this here, really did a real nice job. It makes that webbing spaghetti a thing of the past. Now I got to start that over again.
Blooper 1.
What? Go to your room. Get out. I'm trying to work here.